What's up, everybody? I'm SuperSonicJB. Happy Halloween, everybody. Get this, I found a scary ghost inside my house earlier. No, it's totally not a blanket. When I found a scary ghost, I did what any sane person would do. I set up a trap on the floor and managed to catch a ghost. And since obviously there's no such thing as ghosts, I'm gonna go ahead and unmask this ghost and see who it really is. Doro, it was you all along? Wait a minute. Oh no, it was Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. Perfect, I was looking for a spooky game to play for Halloween. I've been a big fan of the Scooby-Doo franchise ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I watched Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, What's New Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and in many movies they released. Except that one. That one seemed pretty weird. For real though, this series has been running on for several years now, and we all know what happens when a series becomes successful. That's right, they get their own fruit snacks! No, for real though, they get some video games based on the series. And one of the most well-known Scooby-Doo video games was Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. This was a 2.5D platformer game released in 2002 for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. It was made by Heavy Iron Studios and THQ. You know, the people behind SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. This game is said to be the best Scooby-Doo video game ever released. And since I bought a copy of the game recently at a gaming convention, I thought I'd take a look at the game and see what it's like. So, let's take a look at Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. I've been looking at this game for a while and nothing's happened. The game starts off with a recreation of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song, but with the in-game graphics added here. It's a nice intro and a great way to start the game. Anyways, we jump into the game and see a cutscene where the Scooby Gang is on their way to solve a mystery at a place called Mystic Manor. Yat and his friend Holly call the gang here for help in solving the case of her missing uncle, Professor Alexander Graham, who was going to reveal his latest invention, but all of a sudden, he mysteriously disappeared. Holly says that he couldn't have left Mystic Manor, so now the gang's hired to help look for him. Fred, Daphne, Velma, and Holly head inside the mansion to look for the professor. Shaggy and Scooby stay behind, eat some Scooby snacks, but then Shaggy finds a box of them sitting on a tree branch, and when he grabs them, a trapdoor opens up underneath him, and now he's lost somewhere in Mystic Manor. Now Scooby must go on a quest to save all his missing friends, but now we're free to start playing the game. It's a pretty simple intro to the game, and I like it. You get to start playing right away. So to start, Scooby's movement options are pretty limited. You can run and jump, and that's pretty much it. But as you play on through the game's story, you unlock other movement options by discovering the professor's inventions located in certain levels. These inventions let you do stuff like charge at enemies, sneak past enemies, float in the air, ground pound, etc. Certain sections of levels will be impossible to navigate through unless you have a specific ability. And once you find an invention that holds that ability, then you can go back to that level and progress. It's a really fun and rewarding feature that this game does incredibly well. Right before you even go inside of Mystic Manor, you can go to this little tutorial area that teaches you all the game's mechanics. Heck, even Don Knotts himself is here!
It's a pit!
If y'all don't know who Don Knotts is, I'm so sorry. So as you're walking around Mystic Manor, you'll find a lot of Scooby snacks, and these are the main collectibles you'll come across in the game. They're basically like the gold coins in Mario. You'll be using these to unlock gates, so you can access new areas throughout the game. Some gates ask for an awful lot of these too, like over 500, which may seem pretty high, and it is, but these things are scattered everywhere across Mystic Manor, so as long as you keep picking them up, then you shouldn't have any issues. Every time you pick one up, it'll make a funny eating sound effect that was ripped straight out of the cartoons. You'll also come across pieces of food scattered throughout levels. These will refill your health in case you take any damage from enemies. Speaking of enemies, there's tons of them you'll come across in this game. Most of them are ripped straight out of Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, but it's honestly pretty cool. Scooby will even say the name of the monsters.
It's a werewolf! Oh no! It's a zombie! Right! It's a headless specter!
Once you get the professor's helmet, you can charge an enemy to kill him. Wait, aren't these guys supposed to be humans wearing masks? Does that mean Scooby just killed those people?
I am the Rudge, and executioner.
Sometimes enemies will hide inside objects and pop out to scare you, and some enemies require more than one hit to kill. Some of these enemies appear a ton throughout some levels, and not to the point where you question what the devs were smoking when they put all these headless guys in one room together.
I got no head. Me too. Hey, how are we talking without head? I don't know.
The witches also talk a ton, like every time I go around a corner, I hear someone say, "Anybody there?" And sometimes I think it's one of my missing friends, but nope, it's just another witch. Now the biggest and most important thing this game has going for it is the level design, so let's talk about that. Now this game is a platformer, so lots of the level design is jumping from platform to platform, and honestly, it's really fun. The levels are laid out so well, and traveling through Mystic Manor is so much fun. The levels are pretty linear, but you can find tons of secrets scattered across each level. The game will even give you small rewards for going out of your way and exploring with stuff like Scooby snacks, food, or even these monster tokens that you can use in the museum to learn more about past photos from the show. There's also a bunch of these warp gates scattered throughout the map that let you warp to specific levels and give you some shortcuts. This is such a nice feature to have, especially right after you get a new invention from the professor that lets you perform a new ability. And you can just use a warp gate to go back to a spot you couldn't get past earlier and unlock a new path. I will admit though, this game has a pretty terrible map. Trying to figure out where to go can be kind of annoying. It also relies heavily on you remembering where stuff is located, so if you wanted to go back to a specific spot because now you have a new ability unlocked, then you better know the name of the level, because the map isn't going to give you any hints. You can't even move around freely when selecting a level, no, you have to follow the path in whatever direction is available, which is about as annoying as stubbing your toe. Fuck! Lots of levels have a gimmick too, like this section where the water is slowly rising up and you gotta move quick or you'll drown, or this level where you're outside jumping on balconies and chandeliers. It's honestly great. However, some of these levels kinda suck. Like this one called Fishy Clues for Scooby-Doo. My god, this one's bad. There's tons of annoying conveyor belts that you need to jump on, and if you fall, you gotta move on to slippery surface ground that's really annoying to navigate on, and these freaking sea creature enemies hide throughout these piles of fish, and they're so annoying to deal with on the slippery ground. Yeah, it just sucks. All the level names revolve around a pun or just have two words that rhyme, like cower in a tower, shock on a dock, a dark and stormy night, where you fight an actual knight, a mystery machine. Okay, that one wasn't even a joke. Here's the thing though, you'll notice that lots of these levels will say part 1 and part 2, etc. And that makes things a bit complicated, especially when you need to go to a specific level, but you don't remember what part you need to go to. Was it part 1, part 2, part 75? I don't know, man! In some levels you'll come across Shaggy, who can assist you in getting some items and solving puzzles. He can throw you up on ledges, or you can throw him up to obtain some keys to unlock doors, which is pretty cool. Another thing this game contains are some boss battles. About a quarter of the way through the game, you'll find Velma in a cage, and Scooby will meet the true mastermind behind all the mysterious things happening throughout Mystic Manor. The mastermind's name is, well, the Mastermind. And he's even played by Tim Curry, just like Ben from Witch's Ghost. He tells Scooby that he's captured all of his friends, and has brought back all his past enemies in order to get rid of him. But he doesn't tell us why he's doing this in the first place, and then he just disappears, so then we start fighting the first boss in the game, the Black Knight. He's pretty easy to beat, just charge into these switches here that he's standing above, and he'll get struck by lightning. Do this 4 times and you'll win. Not gonna lie though, these boss battles aren't really that special. They're all RNG based on where the boss is gonna move to, and there's so much waiting in each fight, which sucks. After we beat the Black Knight, we get a message from the Professor, who's voiced by Tim Conway, aka Barnacle Boy.
Barnacle Man!
And he gets us some boots that'll let us walk on sticky surfaces. Oh, thank God. You know how awful it is to get goop off your bare feet? Another thing I want to talk about is the game soundtrack. And I gotta say, I really enjoy it. For the most part, anyways. While I do repeat a lot of the songs used here all sound really good. I mean, just take a listen. The sound design and voice acting is also really great, with some of the old cast returning to voice their characters, which is pretty cool. Now, one major issue that I have with this game is the camera. Since this game is 2.5D, you can't freely move around the camera, so it'll always be set at a certain level. Sometimes it's fine, but there were so many times where I could barely tell what I was doing, because the camera was so freaking bad. Lots of times it even got me killed. Honestly, I did have plenty of issues with this game, but I still think it's a good game overall. The game itself is just a lot of fun to play, and lots of the levels are really well designed. You can clearly tell how much love and care the devs put into this game. I wish other licensed games were like that in the past. So yeah, in the end, I think Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights is a pretty good game, and I'd say it's the best Scooby-Doo video game ever made. Yep, even better than that one. So that was Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, and like I said, it's a really awesome game. Sure, it's not revolutionary to gaming or anything, but it's still just a fun game to play. You know, after playing through this game, I realized something. They didn't have a single trap throughout that entire game, man. Come on, man. Traps are essential to Scooby-Doo. I mean, it captured a freaking Doro for crying out loud, so why the heck is it not in this game? Actually, you know, maybe Fred's Traps monthly subscription has expired or something.
Traps Illustrated? Freddy!
I read it for the articles.